Well done.
Thank you.
A really nice shot. A nice one to take. A young buck that's already cast, but is growing it back.
That is the lovely glow of sunrise. We are back off to go and see Kai. We were up with him last night, shot my first fallow buck. How very exciting, but this is a bleary-eyed me this morning because we are back again. However, Kai was very keen to meet at the ungodly hour of 4:45, but we're going for the slightly more respectable hour of about 6:30. I know, you're all going to say, well, if you want to shoot a deer, you need to get up early.
You actually,
I've just tipped half of it
are
down.
you for real? I've got coffee and you can come in with a can of Coke.
Can of Coke.
And a bag of squares.
Can of Coke, bag of squares. Half the Coke is down my front.
You are something else,
I'm all
honestly.
over it. Good morning. And this is
Oh,
what
yeah,
I look like.
I've got a cappuccino from the lovely shop here.
We're talking about the fact that everyone thinks that I'm Sarah's mum. Just a little sneaky peek with the spotters to see if we can see anything in Kai's favourite spots. We have seen some deer.
Spotted some deer. So we've got a group of deer down in the bottom of the dip.
Yeah.
They're probably about 150 metres away. I'll check our rangefinder when I'm there. But a lot of them are does. Obviously we can't shoot does this time of year, it's just the bucks. But we did see one on the right that had the two knobs on its head. So that's in antler knobs.
That's what I'm looking for, is it?
Not
Just one that's like that.
You're looking for a knob?
There's two of them, yeah. There's two of them like that.
Perfect.
So,
species identification yesterday when I said to you, what's that? And you went, no. We got that, and we got that, haven't we? It's either that or that. That's what we're going for, one or t'other.
but it worked then, didn't it?
It did work. I was with you there. It was like across the field.
So we're gonna go for these deer. The wind is in the wrong direction, it's heading right towards them, but there's no other way to access these deer, so we can just go head on, and quite often they can work. I said there's a lot of people that live at the top here. There's a lot of people that are jogging on their horses, so they're probably used to a lot of scents and smells.
And activity, yeah.
So we'll have a little bit of time. So we're going to get to the brow of the hill, get the sticks ready, pop up and have a look at those ones, and hopefully give us time to shoot a buck. So let's see.
We've probably been in the field surveying this herd now for about 20 minutes when this doe stands up only with 3 legs. She would be the most ethical one to take out of the herd, but unfortunately there's always another deer behind her, so we would end up injuring another deer in an attempt to cull her. They're all bunching.
They're bunching up at the moment. I mean, there's a lot of them still laying down.
Yeah.
We're just watching them now. There's
It's like up, down, left, right. But when they stand up, you think you've got a potential shot, and then they stand in front of each other.
yeah, our shot will present itself soon, no doubt. It's just patience is key here.
I'm quite keen to see if the one with the bad leg stands up. But at the moment, they're only going in front of something else, or then laying down.
Yeah.
And it's not, if they're just down in a brow, they're like just down in the dip. There was regular movement in the herd, but normally only moving a few feet forwards and laying down with another animal.
Typical.
We've decided to creep a bit closer, which is probably a good thing because I was poised to take the shot, but what had happened?
There's no bullet in the chamber.
Blaser click though, couldn't it? Let's be honest.
It could have been a click without a bullet in the chamber. Anyway, let's move closer.
For those that didn't watch the range video, the Blaser click is when you don't quite load the bullet firmly enough into the chamber. To be fair, I don't think I can actually blame Blaser for that one. That was a user error. Listen carefully. Had some nerds back in the car. Something spooked them, which is really unfortunate because we were so I think that's the most patient I've ever been.
Yeah.
I sit there for a very long time. I did do really good whispering.
When you say something spooked him, there was a guy in the house.
I was trying to be polite.
Who, with his vegan family, who banged on the windows.
That was me trying to be very polite. Someone spooked them, did shouting. And
which is frustrating because we were trying to target the injured one, which would have been ideal.
And we waited and waited, and it didn't matter what angle they were getting to. It was just not a shot where we wouldn't clip something else. So onwards and upwards.
Onwards and upwards. Let's crack on.
Sometimes when you least expect it, deer appear. And as we were travelling down the lane, we spotted a herd across a field, and we've just dropped the car off and done a great big loop round, and we've come over this little goyle to see if we can get a shot through here.
That one on the back is a buck. Yeah. Go for that.
That hit, didn't it?
Kai has just gone off to get the truck, so I will admit I did miss one. It was right down in the bottom of the field, and Kai said shoot just slightly up because of the distance, and I don't think I shot quite high enough. He thinks I missed by just being slightly too low, so happy to have missed and not wounded, and missed altogether, so that was positive. But as they swung back round, another opportunity presented itself, so quick reload, and I took another shot. They actually then came back round again, however there wasn't a safe shot to be had a third time. So yeah, very happy. We're just going to go and walk down to him now and then get it all dressed and sorted. And insanely, I don't know if you can see, they're still in the field with us. There they all are, a group of them in the field together. There's the rest of the deer. They've all just stood in the field with us. Here is my buck here, and here's everybody else.
The way I do this, I prepare it on the floor before we do a suspended gralloch. So the idea of when you do a suspended gralloch, it's a lot cleaner. So the idea is everything's off the ground. You can eviscerate it properly, and then we go straight into the deer tray, so it's not touching any other contamination, it's not being dragged through the dirt. And that's the ideal thing about having one of these systems here. Last night we did a field gralloch, which was, we had to do that because we didn't have a tree available or it was getting dark. But again, that went straight into the deer tray, so you just want to avoid as much cross-contamination as possible. So the deer's been shot. We've just dragged it here now. What I'll do, I'll just bleed it out like that. It's all coming out there. Just knelt in some stingers, which just doesn't help. Peel this back. So you can tell the deer's in reasonably good condition. It's a young deer, so it's not as big, full-bodied as the one that you shot yesterday. But in the process of changing their coat, so they're going from a winter to a summer, so they'll look a bit mottled and a bit tatty. But all of them will be at this time of year. This is the last day on the bucks, and so a lot of them have lost their antlers as well. So they're just going through a period of change. So we can see by its behaviour it's quite a healthy animal, and other ways you can check is we've taken the liver out. The liver looked very smooth, very clean. There was no white marks or dimples or anything on there. And if you do see something that you're not sure, you can always check some of the glands like the mesenteric here or the bronchioles up by the head. But this one is a very good deer, so quite happy to get this in the chiller pretty quick. It's getting on to, well, what time is it now? Getting to 9 o'clock, and the heat is picking up pretty quickly. Very unusual for this time of year. So the key is to get this chap cooled down as quick as possible. So no, very happy, very good shooting. As I mentioned, this deer's in good condition, a nice young buck. So we'll get this straight to the chiller, and this will be used in some of our events. Probably the next event is actually going to be the National Shooting Show, where we'll make some really tasty kebabs out of the haunches, and even some of the loins actually on these, but mainly the haunches. And the rest of it will be trim, made for burgers and sausages, and some other bits for weddings. So we do a lot of canapes, we do a lot of venison at our weddings and events. So every bit of venison or deer that we shoot gets put back on the menu, so everything's in-house. That's our USP. So Celine, we've had a successful morning this morning. We shot a really nice young fallow buck. Now the process is we brought it into the unit. It's been grallocked, eviscerated out in the field. A nice clean carcass. So the next thing to do is we're going to hang it in the chiller where these other deer are now. And then we've got tags, so we'll tag them. And then we have a list here as well, so we put them on the list. So we've got traceability on where the deer come from. After about a week to 10 days, we then hang them up on the gambrels here. Well, we put them in the cradle, and then we basically attach these top bits of the winch onto the forearms, and the bottom wires here onto the skin of the bottom of the legs, and you pin it front end down. It usually takes about 7 minutes for a fallow doe, maybe a couple more minutes for a fallow buck. Once they're skinned, they go straight into the butchery here. And this is where we break the deer down. We've got the liver of the deer as well. We try and keep all the offal. Family and friends, some of the butchers, and actually people with dogs. There's no point. If it's edible, this shouldn't be left in the field. You know, every bit of the animal that's edible should be taken back and at least made use of, in my opinion. So the deer gets broken down in here. We pack up the haunches and the loins for the business, because the way that we work is we cook on open fires. So everything is done whole. So we just debone the back legs, strip off the loins, hang them on the fire. We put a rub on them, which is paprika, garlic, black pepper, salt, lemon juice and lime. And then that's a house rub. And then we grill that and carve it up for our clients and customers. So once they're all done in here, the meat then goes over into our freezers. So we've got multiple freezers here, which are all fallow, kind of mainly legs, bit of trim, and the back straps. We do some dice and other bits and pieces, but we just use so much of the legs and the loins and the whole shoulders. Everything else is basically minced for burgers and sausages as well. And this is it. So this is kind of our facility. This is where we work from. And at the moment, beginning of the season, everything is ram jam. Everything's full. And so these will be used for the National Shooting Show next weekend. So we'll butcher these down into Venice kebabs. They're absolutely delicious.
The end.
Well done.
It's concluded. I've had such a good time.
That's 2 stalks, 2 deer.
I know.
2 good deer to wrap up the buck season for 2025.
I know, last day, so that was quite full on.
we've seen a lot of deer, haven't we?
Oh, so many. I think because I'm from row country, you just don't see groups of deer in that sense. They are very much singles. And I said to Kai earlier, if we see 5 deer together, it's all terribly exciting.
Yeah, and because fallow are herding deer, they're naturally going to be like that anyway. But it's really good for you to come and see
Really
them.
nice, really nice. It's been such a lovely time. Thank you so much.
No,
for
it's
having me.
been a pleasure. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.